I'm convinced that we're heading into a market that's probably going to force sellers to be a little bit more flexible. I don't think we've seen the end of this rocky road that we've been sort of sitting on recently. And I think it's going to get a lot more volatile. I think the debt loads are up, and I think it's going to end up posing an issue to where you might see prices improve as time goes on. And with the inflation numbers, looking better over the last couple months, rates might come down further, and you might find a better deal than the one you're entering into. But perpetual pursuit of progress, right? Maybe it's perpetual pursuit of patience that will serve us the best in this type of economic environment. Anticipation is such a huge thing right now because who knows what's coming? Can't you feel something? Can't you feel that something over the next 12 to 24 months could break out? And you're just sort of like trying to be at the bottom. But if you remember the last downturn, 2000, for us, it really hit in 2006. I had a property that dropped by 65% in 2006. So I'll be the one that argues that Colorado was one of the first in, but call it 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12. You could have purchased at any time during those years and be sitting on, properties that did extremely well. You could have still been purchasing in 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, and still be sitting on properties that did very well. You're not going to miss it. You're not going to miss it. But I think you can still look back and say, oh my God, I got in too early, because I don't think we've seen the worst. I don't think it's shaken out. There's not nearly enough pain that's revealed itself yet. We haven't paid for all the mistakes we've been making for the last 10 years of people perpetually pursuing equity. What we do as consumers is we go out and spend money on our consumer-related accounts like credit cards. We buy cars. Look at the car market. Look at how much non-mortgage related consumer debts are out there right now. And then we just refinance it through a home equity line of credit. And we have no credit card debt. Well, I'm out of debt. Well, no, you're not. You just rolled it into your home and then start racking up the credit cards again. And people have done this cycle again. I see it every day. So I don't think that people have paid for that yet. And I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. This is just my opinion. People obviously may have counterpoints to that. It's speculation, but the numbers don't look good. The cracks are showing, and the banks are even reacting. I was on the phone with a bank last week that was telling me that they're being extremely careful right now because they're seeing some very concerning information. So, who knows what's going to happen? But I think being safe is always good, and I think you can be safe and still be active. And it may require more work to do it, but if it makes 10 times the amount of money or 20 times the amount of money that the property would, are you willing to put in 10 or 20 times the amount of work that this property is taking you? And the answer is probably sure. Just don't be so hyper-focused on the long-term buy and hold real estate that you've become comfortable with to think that that's the only direction that you have to continue to explore. And maybe I wasn't looking in the right places. I don't want to bash the whole industry, but I kind of felt a little bamboozled after a while because it just seemed like I was tricked into thinking that long-term buy and hold real estate was the answer. And as I began to really just lay out silly examples like that in 3 minutes or less, the numbers didn't check out. And I'm like, why couldn't I just do this in my head when I was 22 years old, getting into real estate and falling in love with it, and realize right then and there that buying properties with a $500 net cash flow expectation is unaffordable to get me to a point where I can just kind of sit back and crack my knuckles and babysit them and do what I want the rest of the day. It's like, I don't know too many households that can do that. I do know people who have accomplished it, but it's literally still single digit. And I'm around a lot of real estate people. And it's like the average person sitting in a real estate investment association is broke. And there's maybe 1, 2, 3 guys in there that are killing it. I got buddies that are in the triple digits indoors. But man, they work hard. Passive my ass. Man.